The detective with the El Campo Police Department is being charged with aggravated sexual assault. Manville police say that Freddie Douglas Jr. was arrested Thursday following an investigation into a sexual assault. The incident happened last month in the jurisdiction of the Manville police. The police arrested a second suspect as a result of this investigation.
I forget you get the butt, me nah rape. I forget you get the butt, me nah rape.
Malayans, it appears Jim Crow behavior on the part of some snow bunnies and some police departments are still going on in these United States. In the city of Manville, Texas. And hold on there. Shout out to all people from Manville, Texas. See? Hold tight. Our brother John Marks and his friend Freddie Douglas were falsely arrested for SA-ing a white neighbor of John. Now let's hear how this went down.
Black man sues white neighbor after being falsely accused. That's right. John Marks on the left. Okay. There he is. 40-year-old black man has filed civil rights lawsuit against the city of Manville, Texas, and its police officers alleging he was falsely arrested for sexually assaulting his white neighbor. The lawsuit claims that on November 9, 2023, Marks and his friend, 43-year-old Freddie Douglas Jr. in the center, had consensual sex with Amanda Zarusinski, white female neighbor with whom Marks had an ongoing intimate relationship with. In Marks's pool, it happened during a celebration at his new home.
Looks like Amanda loved multiple BBCs at the same time. Lord have mercy, Amanda. I say you're wicked.
Well, the El Campo Leader News reported Zarusinski, filed a police report a week later claiming she was held against her will, and that both men sexually violated her or attempted to violate her over a several-hour time period that night and into the next morning. Court affidavit stated all three had been drinking and that the assaults took place with the woman saying no and having to physically fight Douglas off of her. Marks further accuses Zarusinski of malicious prosecution, falsely reporting to the police that she had been sexually assaulted and kidnapped by him, which led to his arrest. Prosecution caused him mental anguish, as well as damage to his personal and professional reputation. Her Atlanta Black Star Marks was arrested December 7th, 2023, charged with aggravated sexual assault and aggravated kidnapping, felonies that can result in prison sentences from 5 to 99 years. Douglas was also arrested, fired from his job as a police detective in El Campo.
The detective with the El Campo Police Department is being charged with aggravated sexual assault. Manville police say that Freddie Douglas Jr. was arrested Thursday following an investigation into a sexual assault. The incident happened last month in the jurisdiction of the Manville police. The police arrested a second suspect as a result of this investigation.
Both men were jailed and later released on bond, protesting their innocence. They said this didn't happen. How did we get here? Well, on March 23rd, grand jury for Brazoria County reviewed the evidence presented against them by the district attorney and issued a no-bill verdict declining to indict either man. Damage was done. Damage was done. But you know, when certain people talk, guess you're supposed to listen.
When she says the damage was done, she is referring to the fact that these innocent men now have a record and their lives were destroyed by the accusation. Imagine seeing all that you have built over the years, your family, your friends, your job being destroyed for something you did not do. They need to sue the pants off the police department and this heifer.
Of a different hue, I meant to say, okay? One woman over here happens to be white, two black men over here who said it's not true, but yeah, you have to understand, okay? So in the lawsuit filed August 21, Marks contends that Manville police arrested him solely on the account of Zarusinski and without properly investigating. Imagine that. If they had, he argues, police would have seen surveillance footage from cameras in and around his home that clearly exonerated him. Yeah, he's due the money. I'm no lawyer, but I'm telling you, he's due the money. Per the complaint, the cameras captured Zorozinski arriving that evening with cupcakes, entering the home with no signs of distress or hesitation, looking relaxed, engaging in friendly conversation. Okay. She later undressed and willingly joined the men in the pool, appeared to be enjoying herself, engaging in consensual sexual activity with John Marks and later with Freddie Douglas. No signs of resistance or discomfort. Cameras also showed her moving freely throughout the house, multiple opportunities to get out of there. She could have left if she felt threatened or uncomfortable, including one point when she was alone in the house. Marks and Douglas were outside in the pool. Marks said he informed Officer Tanner Truitt, not pictured, we'll find him, and Police Chief Thomas Traylor picture of the surveillance footage that contradicted the purported victim's allegations. The officers, however, failed to review the footage or to include it in their report to a judge when seeking a warrant for his arrest. The complaint alleges their conduct was driven by a desire to secure a conviction at any cost, rather than a commitment to uncovering the truth.
I wonder why these bastard popo had no interest in conducting a proper investigation. I wonder, could it be that they entertain certain beliefs? After all, their job is to lock up the guilty and free the innocents. At least that's what they have written on paper. My lions, you be the judge. For some reason, Emmett Till is wandering through my mind. And Buddy Bush, yes, Buddy Bush. Y'all never heard of Buddy Bush, right? But Buddy Bush is from this book that I had my preteen child read just a week ago. See? Check it out.
Marks also contends that police used excessive force during his arrest and then held him in a cold, uncomfortable cell for hours before transferring him to the Brazoria County Jail. During this time, he was denied access to legal counsel and information about the charges against him. Lawsuit further argues that his treatment in custody was part of a broader pattern of systemic abuse by the Manville Police Department, which routinely violated the rights of those it detained. Anna Blackstar filling in the details. Now, the case is not an isolated incident, but reflects a time-worn pattern reminiscent of the injustices depicted in To Kill a Mockingbird, where Black men are falsely accused of sexual crimes by white women. And the machinery of law enforcement is all too willing to proceed without question, the complaint says. The arrest and sexual violation charges against Marks garnered significant media attention. Overwhelmingly negative, portraying John as a dangerous criminal. Imagine that. Whew. Led neighbors, colleagues, friends to distance themselves from Mark. Caused irreparable damage to his personal and professional reputation, he claims. His complaint charges the city of Manville with federal civil rights violations, including failure to properly investigate serious allegations, depriving Marks of his right to be free from unlawful searches, seizures, false imprisonment, excessive use of force, failure to adequately train, supervise, and discipline officers. The complaint also specifies alleged police misconduct by 3 officers. Here we go with that. Claims that Truitt made false and misleading statements to Justice of the Peace Richard B. Davis and omitted material information that, if disclosed, would have prevented the issuance of the arrest warrant. Police Chief Traylor, who participated in and witnessed the arrest of Marks, knew or was recklessly indifferent to the fact that Officer Truitt made false and misleading statements in his sworn complaint. That's like a false police report, if you will.
Go read your history books and you will see the similarities between what these cops are doing versus decades to hundreds of years ago.
Officer Ruiz, first name unknown, conducted an unwarranted search of Marks' vehicle and home without probable cause or reasonable suspicion, violation of the Fourth Amendment. Ruiz used excessive force despite no resistance during the arrest. Marks alleges and later tampered with Marks' security cameras. I was waiting to get to that. By altering the settings from 180 days to 60 days. An action aimed at destroying exculpatory evidence and obstructing justice.
These are dirty cops, plain and simple, coming to the rescue of a female from their clan who should not be with them other folks.
Why would you not conduct basic investigative work here? Hey, there's a camera that'll tell you everything you need to know. Hands behind your back. Wow. Malice, willful misconduct. Trailer, Manville Police Department, and Brazoria County District Attorney Tom Selleck on the right all declined requests from Atlanta Black Star to comment on the criminal proceedings and the civil lawsuit. But why wouldn't you comment, guys? Remember, there was all of this pre-trial publicity. He was painted as a nasty sexual offender, and his friend, who used to wear a uniform. So why aren't you commenting now? And see, you commented when you took him into custody. You got the story out then. It's just a question. After the grand jury, which had reviewed the surveillance video, declined to indict Marks and Douglas in March, the two men appeared at a press conference with civil rights activists. You have to fight fire with fire. You have to step before the cameras. That's what they did. It's beautiful. Sad, though. They denounced the Manville police for racist and corrupt practices and Zurazinski for allegedly making false claims of sexual assault. Boy, the history of that in this country. The history of that. Emmett Till, we see you. So many others. Iris Bay, president of the Brazoria County NAACP, said, from 2024 back to the days of Emmett Till, black men are still having to defend their life versus white tears. White tears. Turning to Mark, she said that audio and video saved your life. Without it, Brazoria County would have nailed your ass to the cross. Mark seeks a jury and all available relief from the court, against all of the defendants for the alleged constitutional violations, including compensatory, punitive, exemplary damages, lost wages, diminished earning capacity, medical expenses, including psychological counseling and therapy, loss of professional opportunities, and loss of standing in the community, social ostracism, damage to personal relationships. I think that's, well, it's priceless, first of all.
Like I said before, these two men need to have their record expunged, and the dirty cops, including the chief and the district attorney, should all face consequences for what they said or what they did to these men. But we all know not a darn thing, see? Not a rascal thing will happen to these bastards. My lions, without the video evidence, these men would be in prison for consensual punani taking. What if this were you? What would your defense be when it's your word against hers and she has your DNA inside the punani? All men, listen to me, brethren, all men are literally at the whim of a woman whenever you two are. Do you know if you have a crazy woman or one who suddenly decides she feels dirty for allowing you and your friends to run a train? So she goes to the popo, she goes to the cops. But lions, whether racial profiling or hatred is involved in the investigation or not, there's only one thing that will always be your friend in these type of scenarios: the camera. You hear me? The camera. So you can use this information as you see fit. Hold tight. Be gone again.